Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 70 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to be a revelation film answering many questions from The Force Awakens that were not answered in The Last Jedi, as well as creating brand new questions at the very beginning of this film that will be answered at the very end of Episode 9. So, with that being said, on top of all of this, we do know that, of course, JJ really wants to use The Rise of Skywalker as a film, as a foundation to create something new toward new Star Wars lore surrounding the Jedi, the Sith, and of course the Force in general. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are said to be traveling to the Outer Rim, where it's described that they are in search of Snoke's abandoned First Order headquarters that is said to hold many secrets of his past. It's described that one of the sequences is said to involve Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren breaking into Snoke's vault inside of his original throne room, where they are said to discover many relics related to the Sith and other dark side artifacts that are all on multiple shelves in Snoke's vault. It's explained that Kylo comes across a relic that Snoke kept locked away that once belonged to Darth Maul, that is described to be a device that once belonged to Darth Maul that was eventually stolen from one of Palpatine's vaults that fell into the hands of Supreme Leader Snoke. This device is said to allow a dark side user to communicate with the spiritual realm, to learn of ancient dark side secrets and of the origins of the Force and the galaxy. It's explained that Snoke's knowledge came from this device about the dark and the light, and that an individual that comes from both the dark and the light is said to be the finest sculpture. It's also said that this device allows a Darksider to communicate with the fallen will or wills that are said to have created the dark side itself, and that Maul discovered this off-screen during the events of the Phantom Menace that will tie into Episode 9. It's described that the fallen wills are actually said to be the ones who created the dark side and the ones that created the dark side itself over the years leading into the sequel trilogy. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, what's really interesting about this is that you can already see that this is a prime example of J.J. Abrams using Star Wars lore affiliated with the light, the dark, and of course everything in between in order to really kind of just explore different elements of Star Wars as a whole that fans have never seen before on the big screen. So let's talk about this device. Now, this device is actually said to be a device that allows a dark side user, to communicate with the spiritual realm. Very similar to exactly what happened with Darth Vader in the Darth Vader comics in late 2018, where you do get to have a moment in which he sees all the Star Wars characters from the past. But this is actually said to be of ancient Sith knowledge, ancient dark side knowledge, that Snoke was able to obtain through this device that once belonged to Darth Maul, that was eventually handed down to Palpatine, and then hence later on stolen from one of Palpatine's vaults that fell into the hands of Snoke. So, what's exciting about this as well is that this device also offers the truth that the dark side itself was created by the fallen wills. Now, that's one thing that JJ is going to tap into with this movie, is he's going to explore the origins of the galaxy, and of course the origins of the dark side itself. And I think that's a very interesting side of Star Wars, the fact that we're going to learn more about that. You guys may recall, actually, that in the early 2000s, there was a novel that was rejected by, of course, Lucasfilm / George Lucas, about exploring the origins of the galaxy in greater depth than what they already did before in Legacy, in the Legends comics. And what they're trying to do here is they're trying to base things off of what could have been, in the EU back then, that they're going to introduce now in Episode 9. So, Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, they're actually said to travel over to the Outer Rim. Now, the Outer Rim is actually a very interesting part of the galaxy that Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren are going to go to, which is the location of the original First Order headquarters. Inside of the headquarters, we actually have Snoke's original throne room. And inside of that throne room is a vault full of these relics, these artifacts, if you will, associated with the Sith and, of course, new ancient knowledge of the dark side. So, we actually learned this a couple of months back that Kylo Ren is going to use plenty of artifacts in this movie that's going to bring him to the very depths of the dark side. In fact, I believe the Black Series figure of Kylo Ren for The Rise of Skywalker, if I'm not mistaken, on there it actually says that he's going to discover the very depths of the dark side in The Rise of Skywalker on the packaging. And it does line directly up with this of how, Kylo Ren is coming across all these ancient secrets, that Snoke obtained from an object that once belonged to Darth Maul. You can see how just the artifacts are tied to all these different characters over time, right? Over the decades. That's now going to be fully explained in Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams. So, on top of all this, guys, let me know what you think about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.